So this is the DJI Avata 1 year later. So it's been over a year since the release of the DJI Avata. So let's talk about how good it is right now. Just to make things clear, I got this drone by myself with my own money, so this is how a normal consumer's experience is gonna be with buying this product. And my only other experience with FPV drones is flying the DJI FPV, which I have flown for a couple of months. But when we were getting back from a trip in May, I was thinking that having whole setup with the FPV and the GoPro and setting everything up and carrying it around isn't as convenient, and I just thought maybe the Avata could solve that problem. I know it's not as strong and it could have worse image quality, but I still wanted to try it out. So when I got it for testing, I was loving it. The flight experience is much better in my opinion. You just feel a little bit more safe, a little bit more daring, should I say? With this, I don't feel any pressure when flying. And better yet, the image quality in the goggles, the connection, just feels so much stronger with the Avata than the FPV. That can be all good and great, but how good is the image quality? And that is the sole thing that was keeping me from 100% knowing that I want the Avata. Is it gonna hold up good? Because if it's not good quality, there's no reason to get it. I would rather carry a little bit more and have the best picture quality. But here the Avata delivers, and even more so after the updates throughout the year. Now it can record with 10-bit colors, meaning you can push it more in post-production when color grading. Also, you can record up to 4K 60 frames per second, and with the wide lens and image stabilization turned off, you can actually record the gyro data, which can later stabilize with gyro flow, making this amazing footage. Both visually, it's very nice, good for color grading, and also very stabilized. On top of that, it is quick and easy to set up. Literally, there's no fiddling around with the GoPro, matching it up with the goggles if, the GoPro and the goggles see the same thing, which was one of the things that I hated about FPV. I love the flying, but it was just so inconvenient. And with this setup, you can just start flying within a couple of minutes. And also because of not using the GoPro on top, the batteries hold up much better than the FPV batteries because it doesn't have to have extra weight on top of it. But coming back to the image quality, in my experience, the best way to actually get the best footage out of this drone is to get ND filters. For example, I have the Freewell ND filters for the Avata, and thanks to this I can fly in 4K 60 frames per second with a shutter speed of 1/120th, making this footage look even better and even more cinematic, with the motion blur making it look faster and just more natural and faster, just overall making the footage better. I am pleasantly surprised with the Avata. It is much better than I expected. I thought it's gonna be a sacrifice of the quality versus the flying experience or the flight time, the speed, everything in between. Like, you're pretty much sacrificing for the convenience of having a smaller drone. But to be honest, the more I fly with it, the more I like this drone. It's much more convenient to carry around. The setup is just seconds to get flying. The footage is really good. Flying experience is amazing because it just feels like it's good to go. It has the guards all around, so you kind of feel safer. Even if you crash it, it should be all fine compared to the FPV, which will probably be broken. So it just makes it more convenient and more versatile. There is one caveat though, and there's one thing that this drone has, one thing that could be a deal breaker for you. You see, there is the infamous bug of it turning around, or in other terms, a lot of people say it's the whitewash because of the propeller guards and the characteristics of the drone, making it easy to flip and fall down. You see, I tried to make this situation as much as possible. The thing is, if you're gonna fly in a cinematic way through things, going straight forward or through things, but going in generally like the forward direction, this drone is not gonna have any problems. The problem comes when you try to do a yaw turn just on this axis. So if you're flying fast and then you turn like this, it could turn around and fall down. The updates to this drone made it so that once it recorded that it's falling down in this direction by that accident, it's gonna actually turn into a normal mode and stop itself there. But recently I had one fall that I'm not 100% sure how it happened. basically I was slowing down. I wasn't really moving too much in the air. I was pretty much stationary even though I was in manual. I was pretty much in one space, and I had an alert that another aircraft is in my proximity. So I thought, I'm gonna get lower, and in manual mode, I just, was in one space, started to go a little bit down, and then suddenly it dropped like this. Fortunately, I was able to hit the normal button, so when it was flying down, it got up, unfortunately not fast enough, so it did hit the grass and bounced up and started flying normally. I was not sure how this happened. I'm not 100% sure how this happened because I was literally staying in place, I wasn't going fast, and it happened. So I'm really thinking like, this drone is amazing, I'm loving it, but there's gonna be like that one asterisk in the back of my mind when flying somewhere over like the ocean or somewhere where you cannot get to the drone that easy, like a cliff. What's gonna happen in that case? I was lucky going over the grass, but what's gonna happen if it's gonna be in a place like this? Hopefully that doesn't happen. It's gonna be hard to tell what happened now, but it happened, and it kind of made me, like that asterisk in the back of my mind, like going again, like, that drone can do it. So overall, I love it. I love the experience. I love the way it flies. Just overall the convenience. It just makes the flying experience so much better. The weight, everything is great except this one issue, which isn't something that is happening all the time. It's really like a mystery when it's gonna happen. And in terms of like the yaw turn, just like, speeding and doing a yaw turn, it's something that you just get to know this drone and you kind of know its limitations to kind of avoid to make a turn like that. Overall, I'm pleasantly surprised with the drone and I'm happy that I have it. If you're thinking about an FPV with all the DJI functions, this is a great one, especially for beginners. In my opinion, it's better than the FPV in terms of like pretty much everything other than the yaw turn and the washout thing, and maybe the sheer power if you need it, because I have not yet tested it out on a very, very windy situation like a beach or, like a cliffside, but I will test it, and when I do, I'm gonna make an update video about the Avata. But for now, this has been an incredible piece of device that I'm really, really loving. And to clear things up, I fly with the FPV controller in manual and with the goggles V2. You see, I was flying with the goggles V2 with the FPV, but the thing is, it just wasn't convenient when traveling. I just felt like it's a little bit too much to carry for not a lot of flying, even though I love the FPV footage. And this is how I got into getting the Avata. But when I got the Avata, it came with the goggles too, which unfortunately, after testing and trying them out, just didn't, fit my face shape too good. So even though the quality is better than the V2s, just the screen quality inside the goggles is better, more resolution, better colors. The thing is, if you can't really see that screen too well, how much of an improvement that is. And the thing is, I pretty much got the focus just in the middle, but everything on the sides was pretty much unreadable for me. It was like having two barrels on top of your eyes. I know you can fly like that, but it wasn't the best experience, and better yet, I had a deal to get the Avata even cheaper without any other accessories. So I thought, you know what, let's just keep it with the V2s that I already have from the FPV. And after packing with these goggles, there isn't much of a difference in terms of size. Yes, the other ones are smaller and lighter, but let's be honest, if you're already thinking about getting the goggles and the FPV, you might as well get those. I mean, it's gonna be fine. And after packing both the goggles and see how I would pack on a trip, I noticed that these goggles were not too much bigger and it wouldn't really change anything in regards of the size and the weight of it. So I just thought to stick with those, instead get like, some accessories for this, and the viewing experience for my face is just better. I see a little bit better, more like a cinema experience, and thanks to this, I just, stayed with those, and they're more comfortable in my experience. So for me, I'm sticking with the FPV goggles V2, but that is a different topic for another video. overall, they work great with the Avata, and the signal strength is amazing between the Avata and these goggles. And one last thing is the batteries. They charge a little bit slowly, even with a 65-watt charger from my phone, but you can get other chargers from DJI or other companies. I'm gonna link the one I have in the description, which actually charge them super quick. You can actually see how fast it charges depending on how fast the lights here blink. So if they're blinking very quickly, that means they're going faster. If they're blinking slowly, that means they're charging slower. But it was one thing that I hate about the Avata. It just seemed like it's charging for like hours. Literally 3 hours would be like a full day of charging. Now I can get them in just pretty much a couple of hours, all of them fully charged. So I highly recommend you get a special charger for the Avata. That's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you learned something new. If you have any more questions about the Avata, please let me know in the comment section down below. That's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I'll see you next time.